Okay, let's see what we got going on here. See who all shows up. Knock, knock. Who's there? I hope I'm doing this right. Because Lord knows my sidekick's not here. Oh! I must be doing it right if Kitty's in here. And I got a notification, so that's good too. Okay. Well, we're going to give everybody, I know some people knew we were going on, some people didn't. So I'm going to give everybody about 5 minutes. My clock says 7:24, so I'm going to wait till about 7:30 to get everybody, let everybody get in. Wow, everybody's pouring in, aren't you? Okay, well, good. How's everybody doing? This is the first oils class of the year. How exciting is that? It's kind of a slacker on my part, but glad to see everybody showing up. And everybody, man, I tell you, it was kind of a surprise to see the post in the Facebook demanding an oils class. That kind of made me feel good. So I put out there on Facebook asking everybody what they would be interested in talking about tonight. And we had quite a few suggestions. So we're going to kind of hit the big one, and then we'll talk about some of the other stuff here as it goes. Man, it is really nice to see all y'all. Susan, Carmichael, Mark, I got your order in yesterday. Pamela, Pam, I hope you got my message. I sent you a message on Facebook. Let's see, Mama's in here, Kitty, Micro Homestead, Mud Pie Girl, Suburban, David, Candace, Rocky Brook, Nunda's in here. Yay, Nunda. Hello, darling. Professor, who else? Pat Biedenbaugh. Let's see. Bandana Grandma, Pamela, Tracy Downs. Yay, yay, yay. Big Bears are back on YouTube. Yeah. Well, we kind of had to take a little bit of a break. There was a lot of craziness going on. We're still trying to pick up all the pieces to get everything in order so that once Jason starts back working, that we have everything in line. This is actually kind of a good time to do it because it's not as busy here. I mean, it is busy, don't get me wrong. We've got a lot of planning to do. As you could see, if anybody that got the notification that we were on live just a little bit ago, we had to drop one of our pigs because it's getting really cold, and you know, meat's not super thin here, but it's starting. Like, we want to make sure we start taking care of that need before it's really a need. So we decided to go ahead and put her down, because the thing is, those pigs, they're so big. And with it being the way that it is now, they've started to put a dent into the acorn supply that we have out in our pasture. And they've been hitting that for a while. And I don't know how many of y'all saw it, but they're still, I mean, she's still pretty fatty. But we don't want them suffering in this weather. This weather is really cold. And there was no point in trying to still try and pour feed to them just to keep them warm. So we decided that we would go ahead, because they weren't really doing much. You know, this time of year, especially for the pigs, they kind of lay out and try to stay warm. When it's 19, 20 degrees outside, that's pretty much all they do. And that just puts more of an impact on our pasture, because we have other animals out there, and so we don't want them putting a huge dent in the pasture as well as the cows and the sheep and everything. So we decided it was about time to put her down, and then we're gonna wait a little while once we get everything packaged and give the male pig a little while to clean out his system, because they've been together for the last 3 years, because he was our second male. So what we're going to do is let him run by himself, get all the testosterone out of his system. We don't know when the last time was that she cycled, if she was even cycling anymore. She's quite older. She's maybe 6 years old-ish. So we're going to wait to see how he does for a month, 2 months maybe. But the thing is that if we wait too long, it's going to be warm again. And if that's the case, then we might have to take him somewhere to have him butchered. But like with it being as cold as it is here now, we can do it ourselves because there's not this big huge rush to get it done in 2 hours because it's 80 degrees outside. So that's basically was the plan today, was to go ahead. But she gave us a hard time trying to get her get her to an area where we could pop her. I think when it was all said and done, we had to get her from a distance instead of up close. Normally we can lead them up to the trough and just take care of them that way, but that 22 just doesn't work anymore. I don't know about y'all, if anybody else has used 22 ammunition, any of the newer stuff that's on the market, but Jason's pretty convinced that the amount of gunpowder or whatever is not the same as it used to be, and so there's not as much oomph behind the bullets. And her skin was just so thick, it didn't do anything. So we had to pull out the big guns, proverbially. Okay, let's see. It is 7:30. Did we say how much she weighs? Sharon, we don't have an estimated, we don't have an exact weight because we haven't really hooked her up to anything where we could weigh her. And they didn't really do the whole, measuring around the tape, around her belly, and then measuring this way and that way. But our estimated guess, the male that we butchered a few years ago when we first got here was about the same size that she is, and he was 726 pounds. And we know that one for a fact because they weighed him when he came in. He was 726. So I would be willing to bet she's close to 700, somewhere in that range. I was saying 6, but when I got out there and actually looked at her, she's very, very close to the male that we had. And so I'm thinking she's got to be close to 700 pounds. And we're gonna, most of y'all know here we use just about everything that we can on the pig. So, the hocks will be cleaned and used for, black-eyed peas and things like that. She didn't look that big a few weeks ago. Yeah, so we Terry, when you were here, we noticed she was kind of, they weren't like thin or anything like that. They just weren't as filled out as they normally are during the summer. And we knew that we wanted to get a decent amount of meat out of her. So we went to our local feed store and picked out some feed that would kind of keep them nice and warm, so they weren't having to use all of their fat to stay, having to burn all of that to stay warm. So we started just supplementing a little bit, and that actually helped them put on. And then we also confined them for a little bit, for the last maybe week. And so that helped. That also helped because they weren't walking around and burning all of their energy. So between those two things, yeah, so that was the thing I was saying, Terry, when in this weather, when it's this cold, a lot of times the pigs, in my experience, they lay down and they'll find a good warm spot and they'll dig up underneath, and the area that they were at is where we had all of our hay. We would put the hay under there because it's covered, and so the animals would go in there, and then whatever they knocked off was off to the side. Well, those two pigs, they found that area and they burrowed themselves down in there to stay warm, and they were up against each other, so their body heat was keeping each other warm. But they were so just laid out because they were trying to stay warm that she just didn't want to move. She like looked at us like, I mean, for a minute there, we thought she was dead. We were like, what is going on? And so Jason went over there and pushed her nose, and she, you know, she finally popped up and looked at him like, what is your problem? I'm trying to sleep here. But yeah, they're in good shape now. They just needed a little bit of supplemental feed to kind of help get through some of these really, really cold days. And then, you know, we had that warm snap for a week, so they were running around trying to find more acorns and stuff. So it was time. It was time to put her down. Are we going to render the lard? Yes. That was one thing that we did find. In the past, our pigs have not had a whole lot of lard. But she actually looked pretty good, and that lard was so, I don't know if you can see it in the Facebook video, but it's as white as the paper. Like, it's as clean and white as just a regular sheet of computer paper. So I'm really excited to do that. We're going to render that down because I'm making soap now, so that'll be really useful for making soap. Okay, so everybody's asking what's the oil we're going to talk about tonight. We're not going to talk about one specific oil. We're going to talk about this nasty season that we have going on right now. How many of you have fallen victim to the flu this year? I'm curious. I will tell you, I don't know if we had the flu here, but we had something nasty come through our entire household. It was absolutely the nastiest thing I have ever seen. Blaze got it first, and then Carol got it, and Ladessa got it like right after Carol, and then I got it shortly after Ladessa. Like, Ladessa had it that morning, and then that afternoon, I got it. And as soon as I got it, within like 3 or 4 hours, Jason got it. And it was, I mean, it was bad. I don't know how many of y'all symptoms, what y'all had, but, and this is the thing that's crazy. Like, when I think of the flu, I think of puking my guts up, pooping through a screen door, like just nasty. You know, it just really, really bad. Like incapacitated, don't feel like you want to do anything kind of sickness. But when I started kind of looking through stuff, I was like, you know, I really want to know what the full definition of the flu is. Does anybody know what the flu actually is? Curious to see if anybody knows what the definition of a flu is. I'm curious what you guys think. So Tanya said she ended up in the hospital with it. It's really bad. And I was like, I'm not saying anything. Don't want to jinx this. Let's see. So Susan's just getting over it. Sharon feels like it's coming on. Gotten it, getting close. Let's see. My kid has been sick with flu-like symptoms several times this year, but never tested positive for it. Maybe he's a mutant. Been lucky so far. Okay, let's see. Feeling bad yesterday, but garlic honey's helped my stomach. So, okay, so that was one thing I was telling Terry about is, I don't know how many of y'all do raw honey, but if you infuse honey with raw garlic by basically taking a cheesecloth, or if you just want to chop it up and put it in the honey, that's fine too. But you can take it and chop it up, mash it, whatever you want to do, put it in cheesecloth, and then submerge it into some raw honey, and let it sit for a while. It will ferment inside, or not ferment, it'll infuse into the honey, and that is by far the best. Like, it's a very good, healthy, preventative measure for just overall health. Garlic's really good for immune support, but it's also really good for your heart. I mean, it's a whole lot of other things. Okay, so let's see. Kitty says the flu can be gastrointestinal upset or cheat cold flu-like symptoms or a combo of both. Influenza, respiratory tract infection. Okay, so that is it. Suburban is right on the money. Aches, pains. So you guys are telling me all the symptoms. But when you look up the flu, and this is what you get. I'm going to read it to you because I had to write this down. I was floored. Okay, so the definition of a flu, the influenza, commonly known as the flu, is an extremely contagious respiratory illness caused by influenza A or B virus. Okay, so it's caused by a virus. It mostly appears frequently in the winter and the early spring, and it attacks the body by spreading through the upper and or lower respiratory tract. So, by that definition, I'm not sure that what I had was the flu, because I didn't have anything going on here except for the vomit that was coming up through that area. Most of what I had was like intense gastrointestinal, kind of like what Kitty was talking about. So that is an issue because we have so many people that are like, oh, the flu, the flu, the flu. But it's not necessarily the flu that we're fighting, guys. It could be that you're just fighting a really bad, just another type of virus. But here is the kicker. One of the things that I'm seeing a lot of is people, generally speaking, not anybody in here, I don't think, but generally speaking, people get sick and the first thing they want is an antibiotic. My own father-in-law, he went in and got sick, went into the doctor, and the first thing that they did was prescribe him an antibiotic. I had a coworker, had a child, got sick. First thing they did was prescribe a antibiotic. So antibiotics are for bacterial infections. The cold, the flu, all that stuff is viral. It's totally different than a bacterial thing. Now, one of the things though that when we're looking at these different oils, a lot of times it'll say antibacterial, but a lot of them too will say antiviral. So, kind of want to keep an eye on any of this stuff with these oils that you're looking at. If you look up antiviral oils, you'll find that a lot of them are also antibacterial or antimicrobial. So that's kind of my 2 cents on that as far as the flu versus the cold versus some people end up getting sick just because they've had allergies, and then all of that gunk gets down into their system and makes their stomach upset, and then they're throwing up, and all that junk that's getting down into their stomach can't handle it. So all of these oils that I'm going to talk about are for all of that. But a lot of them are also antibacterial, so if you have any kind of a bacterial infection, these will also some of these will be helpful. Now, the other thing too is that the oils that I'm going to talk about are not to necessarily like kill or get rid of the flu. These are all oils that are going to help with symptoms. Okay, so like one of the nasty symptoms of the flu, in my opinion, the nastiest one obviously is nausea and vomiting. So you kind of want something that's going to help settle your stomach. Digest Zen or the digestive blend, those work. Peppermint by itself works really good. Ginger works really good. Ginger's really is a really good one for the stomach. I think I have found that between ginger and peppermint, if I inhale those, just put them in my hand and just kind of breathe those in real deep, that helps to settle my stomach a lot. There are some that'll set me off. Like, you know, there are some of these oils that we'll be using for other symptoms that when you're nauseous, you don't want to smell. Like, I don't know about y'all, but when I'm sick to my stomach, lavender is not something I want to smell. It's very floral, and I just, I can't do lavender when I'm not feeling well. It will make my stomach even worse for me. Now, that's not to say that somebody else, that's a very comforting smell. And while they're not feeling well, lavender is a great thing for them. When I was sick, when I had the flu or the bug or whatever you want to call it, my symptoms, I obviously had the nausea and vomiting. I had diarrhea really bad. But I also had a fever. I did cough a little bit, but it wasn't really respiratory, I guess is the right word. Horrible headache, lethargy, and just being overall just not feeling well at all. Even after all of the symptoms of like the nausea and vomiting happened, even after all that was said and done, I was still so weak that I didn't feel, you know, I just felt horrible. Okay. So Tanya said, yeah, Kitty had me huffing peppermint. Yeah. Digestin, they do have chew tablets that work really good for upset stomachs. I don't really like the chalk taste. So that didn't really do anything for me, but the Digestin, the actual oil, just smelling it, that helped out a lot. And that has like anise oil in it, or like it smells like fennel, so it's got like the fennel smell. There's a lot of really good smelling oils to me in the Digestin that helps me to make my stomach feel a little bit better. Will Digestin help with chemo side effects in a cancer patient? Again, Amanda, I would think so. But to me, in a situation like that, that's one of those where you want to see what's a pleasant smell to that particular person. Because peppermint or Digestin might be good for you and me, but they might not like the smell of black licorice. And it definitely has that black licorice smell, so that might make them feel even more sick. So it just kind of depends on what you have an adverse, reaction to. Lavender is too, when I'm not feeling well, lavender does not make me feel good at all. Which is kind of hard because lavender can help you to relax and be kind of just chill and make you sleepy. And when you're not feeling well and you want to go to sleep, that would be a great one to have, but it's too floral for me. So what I do instead is I use chamomile because I don't mind the smell of Roman chamomile. So I will use Roman chamomile instead of lavender. Even though lavender is antibacterial and all of that good stuff, that still works, but I just prefer the chamomile. The chamomile helps me to kind of relax and feel much, much better. And I don't know about everybody else, but chamomile kind of knocks me out. It makes me very drowsy. I don't know if y'all remember, there was one time when we were in here live and we had a wasp in here, and I killed the wasp, but it got me in the process. It stung me. And so I went into the house and I got chamomile and lavender, which are two really good oils to put on a sting. And not thinking about the double dose of relax oil that I was going to use, I put both of those on and woke up like 6 hours later. So Both of those are really good, but again, if you're not feeling well and your stomach's already upset and you use a smell that you're not, you know, kind of, I don't say that lavender doesn't bother me, but when I'm sick, it doesn't go well. So let's see. Obviously one for immune support. I'm sure people have heard of something called thieves oil. A little background story on that, whether it's true or not. The anecdote is that you can, back when the bubonic plague was going on, and this is an anecdote. I don't know if it's ever been completely proven true. Hello, Rain Country and Mr. Rain. But basically, the story goes that there were a lot of people pilfering through dead people's goods and belongings after they died from the bubonic plague. And there was this set of thieves that were going through, and they were never getting sick. And so finally, when they were captured, in exchange for them not being killed right on the spot, or a really lengthy term, however they were going to punish them, they were to relinquish how they were able to stay healthy and not get sick when they were obviously touching everything that the dead people had been exposed to. So those oils were, let's see, cinnamon clove. I always get these messed up. I think it's cinnamon clove, rosemary. Let's look. I always forget this. Clove, lemon, cinnamon, eucalyptus, and rosemary. Okay, so not cinnamon, lemon, clove, eucalyptus, and rosemary. Now, in the doTERRA version, they actually, instead of using lemon, they use, I think, wild orange. And that is a very powerful immune support regimen. Those oils working together they're antibacterial, anti-infectious, antiviral. When you put all of that together, it's a very powerful, because you got all of the power of the citrus. Clove and cinnamon are very powerful antibacterial, antiviral oils. You've got, it helps with any kind of symptoms of the cold or the flu. I don't know about y'all, but that's such a warming oil as well, because of the clove and the cinnamon. And then with the eucalyptus and the rosemary, both of those will clean out the respiratory system pretty well also. So that's one that works really well as far as as far as being soothing and helping with the symptoms of the flu and the cold. That oil blend is a very good blend. Let's see, Rain says, let's see, what did she say? Lavender mixed with ylang ylang and frankincense. Yes, so that, and it is mild, because when you start cutting the lavender with but see, the thing is, again, ylang ylang, to some people, ylang ylang, and frankincense too. Frankincense can also be a very strong smell. I know when Jason takes his frankincense in the morning and he wants to come near me and give me a kiss goodbye in the morning, I am not, ugh, I don't like that very much. So, okay. Susan says, I put oregano in the humidifier. Wow. Okay, so I don't know that I would put oregano in the humidifier, because that's a really, really strong smell. But if it worked, that's great. Eucalyptus in the humidifier is a good one. Eucalyptus and peppermint together is a good one. So both of those are really good for the humidifier. Now, as far as oregano goes, oregano is super powerful as far as antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antiviral, all of that stuff. That one we use when we start to feel yucky. Oregano is the first thing that we go to. And what we've done, and I love doTERRA for this, they have made a touch, they made it's a roller ball that has the oregano oil in it, but it also has fractionated coconut oil. And that's important because oregano is a hot oil to begin with, so you're gonna have to dilute it anyway. So the thing is, doTERRA took the guesswork out of it, and they put the right amount of fractionated coconut oil into this roller ball. And what I really like about that is that I don't have to measure it out for my kids. When they're not feeling well, like for instance, when we were all not feeling well, the last thing I wanted to do was be like, let me take care of you. We were literally all in our beds with doors shut and diffusers blowing everywhere. So we had On Guard going constantly. We had oregano on the bottoms of our feet. And those roller balls were perfect because I had 3 of those roller balls. So there was one in the girls' room, one with Blaze, and one with Jason and I. And we all took those roller balls and put them on the bottoms of our feet, and that worked out perfect. That, I'm convinced that actually made it move a lot faster than what it could have been. Because I know a lot of people who were fighting it for over a week, and I think we fought it for about, the actual sickness part was maybe, it was less than a full day. It was possibly, I don't know, maybe 12 hours ish, the actual symptoms. And then after that, it was more just being lethargic. Sorry about that. Being lethargic and just worn out, because it takes everything out of you. And that's one of the things about with the orange oil or the lemon oil, whatever, in the protective blend or the oregano or whatever, I mean not the oregano, the On Guard, the reason why that's in there is because that's an uplifting oil. That one kind of makes you kind of start to feel a little bit better and get a little bit more pep in your step. So that was another thing that we started diffusing as we started feeling better. We diffused lemon and wild orange, any of the citrus oils. We started to run out of stuff because we were using so many. It was kind of one of those things where we started to try and feel better, you know, and do that. Let's see, someone recommended 20 drops of P73 super strength oregano under the tongue. So I would never, that's way too, that's crazy. I would say that, like with us, like I don't even ingest the oregano. I have no interest in ingesting it. It is such a hot oil that, like, I don't want to burn my tongue off. The thing about putting it on the bottom of your feet is your pores, you've got a nice amount of area down there at the bottom of your feet, and it just it makes everything, you know, you kind of y'all are gonna make me laugh about oregano. So between those two, or with the oregano on the bottom of the feet, that helps to disperse the oil, the properties in the oil, to go much better through the system. Now, again, if you use oregano different than the way that we've had it, like the little roller ball that we had, you can use any kind of lotion, any kind of carrier oil. In the past, when I didn't have carrier oil, I just used a regular hand lotion. And it didn't matter whether it was scented or unscented, because oregano is so strong that no matter what smell your original lotion was, it's going to it's going to overpower it all the way through. Now Bandana says, I thought it was crazy after trying. Now see, here's the crazy thing about, this is the crazy thing. She's talking about putting it in water. There's no way I would put oregano oil in water and try to ingest it. It would burn so bad. So, and that's what Rain is saying. That's way too much. It'll swell up your throat, make it hard to breathe. I mean, that's crazy. And see, that's why I don't do gel caps, because there's a possibility that it would, pop open, and I mean, ugh. So Lorelai said, I accidentally rubbed it on my face after putting oregano lotion on my kid's feet. It was the worst. Yeah, it's worse than eating a habanero raw. Yeah. And you smell like pizza. You definitely, that smell. Kathleen, yes, oregano does need a carrier oil. And it is considered a hot oil. And for those of you that have not been here before, I'm going to tell this story since he's not here to defend himself, and I can tell my version. Jason, when we first started doing, essential oils, I was told that oregano oil would help with skin tags, to remove a skin tag. So, one night, Jason and I were laying in bed, and he had his arms up like this, and I was like, oh, you got a skin tag, like right here on your armpit. Let me try some oregano oil. Well, I didn't know that it was a hot oil. So, I put the oregano oil straight on his armpit, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but the skin on your armpit is one of the thinnest layers of skin that you have. And so, when I did that, we were laying there, and he was laying there, and his body started moving a little bit, and he's like, "Ooh, Robin, it's getting a little, it's getting a little hot." And I was like, "What? It's not hot. Like, I've put it on my hands," and I'm thinking, it's not hot. Like, it's not burning my hands at all. But again, your hands are the thickest layers of skin that you have on your body, right? So I put it on his armpit, and he's moving around, and he's trying to suck it up, and I'm like, "Man, marine up, it's not that bad." And he's like, no, it's hot, Robin, it's really hot, it's burning. And I'm like, no, it's not. So then he's like, all of a sudden he puts his arm down, he's like, "Robin," and he didn't realize that by now he has spread it from like up here all the way down like mid chest level, right? So he's burning, and then he gets up, and he's like, he goes into the shower, and he starts running hot water on it. Well, water and oil do not mix. The only thing that water will do is spread it. If you've ever dropped oil or dropped water into a pan of oil, what happens? It disperses, it goes everywhere, right? So that's what happened, is this oil, instead of staying in one little spot, he's now spread it down his arm, and now it's spreading all over the place. So he gets back, and he's trying to dab it and dry it off, and it's still burning. And so I'm trying not to laugh, but it was hard. Like, I'm like, you were such a wimp. Like, this is not that bad. So eventually I started to notice, like, his actual skin on his armpit was turning bright red, like a serious sunburn. And so with the very little bit of knowledge that I had at the time, I realized that the best thing I could do for him, because I didn't really know a whole lot about carrier oils yet, my little bit of knowledge that I had was use some lavender, because lavender will, lavender will thin it out a little bit. And of course, the oil itself worked as a carrier oil to dilute it, but then also the lavender helped to soothe the area. But it was, I mean, it was really bad. Lorelai says, so putting straight oregano on a nipple skin tag would be harsh. Yes, that would be really bad. You don't ever use oregano straight. And another thing I will tell you guys, when you're using oregano, even if you're putting the oregano, like you're taking the bottle and you're, you take the bottle and you're kind of dropping it down. I was checking to see what that was, lemon. You're putting it down onto whatever you're doing. Make sure that you don't touch anything afterwards. Like that one and peppermint, those two are so bad if you get them in your eyes or anything like that. But if for some reason you get them too close to your eyes and your eyes start to water, if you'll take carrier oil and put it down on your cheekbones or up above your eyebrows, that bone up there, that will pull the oil out, pull it away. So that will help. I've had that happen several times and that works really well. Anywhere from cooking oil, olive oil, whatever you have at the time, just take it and put it up on your eyebrow, the bone right there, and then right here, that one works good as well. So you can do that. Armpit is part of the lymph system. Yes, it is. Okay. So yeah, so oregano, excellent oil, but definitely moral of that story is be very careful with it. Make sure you dilute it. That's why I said the thing about this, and I wish I had it with me, it is a roller ball. So it's one of these long tubes, like an extended, almost a little bit bigger than a lip balm tube. Just a little bit bigger than that. It's 10 milliliters. Most of these bigger bottles are 15 milliliters, so it's a little bit smaller than that. But it works really well because they've already put the carrier oil in it, so you don't have to worry about burning yourself. We go ahead and take it and we put it on the bottoms of our feet and everything works out really well. It's nice to see all y'all in here. I'm glad to see all these faces. Okay, so another one is peppermint. Peppermint works really well. Wallace Lake, good to see you. Pickers as well. Got a couple people kind of come on in here. You want Donna to send a pic of Oregano Touch? I have it somewhere. I just don't know where it is. I wonder if, let's see if I can find it real quick. But the thing about the oregano is that it's so powerful. It is definitely one, if you're going to have an oil that you just know you have to have, the Oregano Touch, the oregano oil itself is a really good one to have, but the Oregano Touch is even better in my opinion because it, here we go. I should be able to get it right here. Because you don't have any guesswork. And if you have children, guys, this is worth its weight, and it's actually a little bit cheaper because it's been thinned out. It's not the straight oil. So it's a little bit cheaper than the pure oregano oil. But the thing is that if this is what, you're going to be using it for, then by all means. Now, I will tell you, I have a regular bottle of oregano that we also use for cooking. And so whenever, whenever it's time to cook, we definitely use the oregano. But again, that oregano, you have to be so careful because it is very overpowering. Let's see what everybody else is saying. Oregano lotion. Yeah, that. Should I listen because I'm washed off? Okay, let's see if I can get on here and see if I can add an image. Image. Off topic. Clary Calm kicks my butt. Yeah, so, yeah. So, Clary Calm is a really great oil, but the problem with it is It has a lot of different oils in it that can make you very tired. So it's definitely, you got to be really careful with that oil, because it'll definitely, oh, whoop your butt. Okay, so this is what, let's see if I can get it to not be so big. This is what the Oregano Touch Oil looks like. It's a 10 milliliter roll-on, and it works out really, really well. Quick Lake Homesteaders, never heard back from you. I may be missing info. I don't know. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Let's see. Yeah. So Sullivan family was saying that she was using Clary Calm, and Clary Calm is excellent for women. Makes my heart feel funny. Huh. Dana, what you might do is actually take that Clary Calm and put some carrier oil with it. It might just be that it's a little strong for you. Or put it in some lotion, something like that, and maybe that way that might help thin it out a little bit, dilute it a little bit for you. You might try that and see if that helps. I know with Clary Calm with me, I have to just barely dab my wrist, and then I rub my wrist together and put them behind my ears, and that does the whole thing. Somebody was asking if that touch already has the oregano, it already has the proper amount of coconut oil already in it. So it's properly diluted to where it'll still be completely effective. Somebody asked me how much the Oregano Touch was. I gotta check. I want to say, yeah, it's $21. Which to me, that's worth it to me. Now, like Kitty was saying, you can make your own touch bottles with the regular oils. You can definitely do that. But my thing is this is doTERRA's business. This is what they do. And for a person to come in and to do specifically what the measurement is, I'll pay for that. I would rather do it that way and have the touch bottle so that I can, do it, have it properly done out that way. And I'm a klutz too when it comes to putting stuff inside a bottle. It just never works really well. Let's see. Yes, Jason is still out with the pig right now. That's going to be a really, 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 really rough couple of days, because she's huge. She's massive. Those hands are probably going to be about, each side's probably going to be about 40 pounds. Let's see. What's another question? Sharon, get with me. Just send me a message, and I'll take care of that for you on the next order that I do. Let's see. Yeah, so a few of them you buy, but especially the ones they don't make yet. Yeah, so like if there's something that you need that definitely needs to be diluted, that's obviously an option that you can do. I'm not very good about pouring. Like when I was doing samples and stuff, that was always a mess. The house always smelled like whatever oil we were doing samples of. Gothic Sugar. Unrelated to these oils, are there any oils to improve mood? There are quite a few. So let me ask, there's like 50 people in here. How many of you use oils to improve mood? I know we do at our house. And I guess the bigger question, Gothic, is what kind of mood are we talking about? Are we talking about just not feeling motivated, or are we talking about like want to rip somebody's head off, or are we talking about just depressed and want to go cry in a bucket somewhere? Because that's another thing is it anxiety? What are we talking? Because it can be a little bit more specific than that. Hey, Lone Star, what's up? Good to see you. Oh, and quick, like, I saw your email. I really didn't put anything out as far as what classes. I just kind of decided to come on because we had a lot of people asking, so I decided to finally bite the bullet and come on. Let's see. Clary calm. Yeah, so upset, mad, pissed off, all of that. Yeah. Rain, it was nice having you in. Good luck on your skirt making. Okay, so stress and anxiety. Yeah, so Nanda was asking about that as well. So we're going to talk about stress and anxiety in a second here. Somebody said bacon. I'm all for the bacon. Pardon me while I eat an olive with a garlic clove in it. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, definitely Gothic Sugar. Go ahead and email me. Kitty, go ahead and put up an email address for me, please. I've got my phone right here, so you can just hit me up on that, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that I can as far as that goes. I will tell you this. So, as far as depression, not feeling, just kind of feeling blah and yuck. Jason uses a blend, his own blend, I guess, of frankincense and copaiba. Those both work really well for his mood to stabilize to where, because like part of the stuff with depression is that you just feel like you're not motivated to do anything. And now Wallace it was kind of funny. He said pot oil works wonders for your mood. So here's the funny thing. Copaiba has a lot of the same effects without the, mind altering part of the THC of cannabis. The copaiba actually has a lot of different properties in it that will help with mood without getting you high. Frankincense also is really good overall for brain health, so that helps with adjusting all your levels in your brain so that you can stop being so, not feeling good. So the other thing that works really well as far as depression goes, in my opinion, have been all of the citrus oils. So all the citrus oils are kind of peppy. So you got lemon, bergamot. Bergamot is a really nice smelling oil. Funny thing about bergamot though is that it's actually if I remember correctly, it's actually a sedative, so it's actually supposed to chill you out, where like lemon, lime, grapefruit, wild orange, those are like supposed to help you wake up and pep up and focus and things like that, where bergamot is more of a relaxing one. But bergamot is really good for me anyway, for my mental health, because it's just an overall smells really good. So that's another thing, is that if you're trying to overall mood of that works out really well. So Karen asked, does he use a drop of each in a cup of water? No. So he doesn't even use water. He puts a couple of drops underneath his tongue in the morning. So he'll take the bottle and he sticks his tongue out and he puts it up underneath his tongue. And he'll put like 2 or 3 drops of each underneath his tongue. Now that's probably too much, but I will tell you, we've had some pretty stressful last couple of months, like super stressful, and I can tell you that between the copaiba and the frankincense and his LLV, which is the lifelong vitality supplement pack that he takes from doTERRA, between those 3 things, his overall behavior and his mood and his level of motivation have been totally, totally different, and definitely you can notice that it definitely has changed. So let's see. So Steve says he uses frankincense. So he takes the 1 drop. That's what I used to tell you guys is if you'll take a drop and put it in the palm of your hand and then take your thumb, press it to the palm, and then put it in the roof of your mouth. Right there. Because what happens is frankincense, the makeup, the chemical makeup of the frankincense is so small that it'll pass through the blood-brain barrier. So it allows the oil to go straight to the brain. So because we have this barrier in our blood vessels that don't allow everything to go through to the brain, so that we don't have all of this junk get into our brain. Well, the chemical makeup of frankincense is so small on the molecular level that it's able to pass through that, and it goes straight to the brain, so it helps with brain function. Let's see. So Dana wants to know, do you have to ingest these oils, or can you do a drop to the inner wrist for the same effect? Woo! That scared me. I hate when you do that. I get so like focused, and then all of a sudden the slightest noise, and it just totally throws me for a loop. All right, everybody wants to know where you're at, so come on in.
Everybody wants to know where I'm at.
Oh yeah, they're asking if you were still slicing up a pig or not.
Oh yeah, we're still slicing up a pig.
Yeah?
We got about halfway up in the air.
Only halfway up in the air?
We got the what are you doing?
You're not. Why are you not? I'm just moving it. Relax.
Well, you gotta move all this stuff so I can come
Well,
in.
you move it. It's closer to you to move it over there.
I'm gonna throw it.
I dare you. Go ahead. Keep going. How big are they? Uh-huh. That's what I thought.
No, it ain't about how big they are. It's about how much it's cost. I'm broke. I can't go replacing a laptop just to prove a point.
Look who's here. There's Susan. Susan's like, I miss my big bear.
Oh.
Let me turn this back. You need to come back over. Let's do this.
I had to leave Bubba. Bubba's out there. We got the stomach, the intestines. You're going the wrong way.
Oh, am I? Am I going the wrong way?
So this is why you never sit in that chair.
This is why I always sit in my chair.
And you done got it all messed up now.
Uh-uh. You just need to move on over.
How can?
Like that. See? Ow! Don't do that now. Anyway.
And so
howdy doody patchouli.
we let's see, got pretty much all the hide off. Got
lots of lard.
The liver weighed probably about 20 pounds.
Jeez.
The stomach probably, because she was full, she probably weighed about 30 or 40 pounds.
Yeah, everybody was asking about how much that we thought they weighed, or she weighed.
She was pushing. She's easily pushing 700. That's a ton and a half winch, and it's working. So it's just one of those things, you know. I mean, we let her get. She was a breeder. We let her go too long.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and what would happen is we would be like, okay, it's gonna get cold enough. We're gonna process them. In the last 2 winters,
she fooled us. She thought she.
Winters have been so warm the last 2 winters. So, because of that, what?
Don't play it off.
What? What? What's wrong with that?
Did you ask?
Did I ask what? I don't need to ask. I'm an adult.
Okay. Jumping
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's a hog. Yeah, so we don't. Yeah. Clary, nice to see you, my dear.
So I mean, it's one of those things. She got very large, and Henry's just as large.
Yeah, I'm worried about him.
Well, hopefully I'll have a couple of paychecks under my belt that
Here, scoot over just a little bit more.
we'll just be able to take him somewhere where they got better equipment.
What is Jason looking at? This. That's my drink. It's got oregano oil in it.
That's not good Russian vodka.
No, that's Tito's. Tito's, baby.
It's not
Come
even
on,
vodka.
Rebecca, back me up here.
That's like water with hot sauce.
No. Oh,
But
yummy.
so, what oil did you talk about? Are you done talking about your
No,
oils?
we were just talking about, let's see, I commented on the Facebook stream, we have a good sharp knife that holds an edge. So that's what he was talking about in the comments. We couldn't see them. When they were butchering before, they were having to literally have somebody who was just sharpening knives constantly while they were butchering, and then they would have to, rotate out a knife just so that somebody could do that. And y'all haven't had to do that yet.
Nope.
Yeah.
And we've used the same knives to cut the hide. Now remember, this is a 7 or she's probably even. How long have we been here?
Okay, we've been here 4 years.
Okay. So then maybe she's not that old.
Almost 5. Well, no, 4. Just over 4 because October was 4.
Okay.
5, probably 6 years old. Because she was almost 2.
Okay. This is very easy for us to do because she had her and Pelosi both had a litter while we were in Grovetown.
Yeah.
So that means they were at least a year and a half.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They were probably the better part of 6 years at least.
This is probably my coffee.
Is there an essential oil for, oh my God, the bears are actually live?
Thank you, Karen.
Yeah, probably. Huh. Do you still have your fingers, Jason? He's got all of them. You gotta be really careful with those knives, though, because they're really, really, really sharp.
Really.
One of the things that I watched while I was doing the video was that as he was cutting through the hide, the knife was so sharp it was just slicing straight through the hide to the other end.
For lunch tomorrow, I'll just have whatever I make for dinner.
If you don't leave because you're trying to get attention, I'm going to give you all the
There we
attention.
go.
Give you all the
Tito's
attention you want.
is delicious, magnificent, and wonderful. Cheers, Suburban. 'Cause I agree.
But I mean, all we did. Now I will tell you this: with his knives, I did have to wipe it off.
Because it got a little bloody.
Got a little. Well, it was the fat.
The fat.
That large stock pot that you brought out there. While Bubba was still working on the hide, I started taking the fat off
the hide?
around the.
Oh. Don't
Who's
look
talking?
at me like that.
Who's talking?
Me.
Not today. You're already up to 20. You want to go for 50?
No.
I started trimming the fat, cutting the fat off.
Mm-hmm.
And the knife got a little slippery.
But nobody got their finger cut off. Okay.
Well, I got all mine.
Okay.
I don't know about blades.
How about rotating knives for cross-contamination? Well, we don't have to worry about cross-contamination because he's just using one. It's just one pig. It's not. We're not cutting between a chicken and a pig or vice versa. So, okay. Oh my gosh, are their names really Clinton and Pelosi? Okay, so yes, Sharon, we used to have, and it's actually a funny story. When we bought these pigs, we were living.
I love you.
I love you too.
How much do you love me?
Not enough to think about the fact that you probably didn't wash your
I
hands.
did wash my hands. I did smell.
And you still.
See, I did wash my hands. Do you love me this much?
Oh, you suck. Oh, Floyd. Well, hello there.
Hi, Floyd. Thank you, Floyd.
He's been in the background this whole time, I think, because Niana was in here earlier. But anyway, so when we first started in pigs, we were doing...
We were raising wieners.
We were doing Razorbacks. So we didn't know much about pigs. And that's actually why we started our YouTube channel.
Happy New Year, breakaway.
We didn't know anything, to be honest. We knew absolutely nothing.
When we started homesteading, we knew zero. Zero.
Just that we knew that we wanted to.
I mean, I knew how to garden because my grandfather, my papa,
And I did too, yeah.
Yeah, but my papa was the bomb.
Well, there's no
I mean,
arguing that. But
your
even
dad
though he
was
told me
the
he
bomb.
wanted to cut my throat and dance my blood,
He
but
said that to me.
whatever.
Of
Anyway,
course he had
oh no,
dementia.
he was going to cut me and then put my tongue down my throat or something.
He
Whatever. it
never
was.
said anything like that to you. It was all to me.
Anyway,
we knew how to garden,
Mm-hmm.
and that was it. Rest of the stuff, I mean, when we started homesteading, there was no Off-Grid with Doug and Stacy. There was no. What is
trust
that?
me, we looked.
What was that guy's name? The one that I can't stand.
Austin Rhodes.
Yeah.
There
was no
I
Austin
can't believe you
Rhodes.
just said that.
There was no. I mean, Joel Salatin was just literally kind of starting to get out. I think his first couple of books were out because I ran across him on a YouTube promotion for one of his books. I think it was.
I don't remember. Was it the chicken one about?
It might have been the pasture poultry book.
I think it was. But whatever the case.
Because we went out and got it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that's what.
Because I remember reading it when we were still up at 26. When we were still at 26. You were definitely still, starting to read the pasture poultry and the pigs and all that stuff. So
salad bar beef.
So basically, what happened is we decided we were going to do pigs. Well, we didn't know any better, and we got Razorbacks.
Yeah, we were told that they were supposed to be Yorkshires, and we didn't know any better. We got it.
No, I don't. Well, see, I don't remember. Justin Rhodes. I said Austin Rhodes. Hi, Justin. Austin Rhodes is Augusta. Oops. Can't stand him either.
No, I don't mind Austin.
Anyway, Justin Rhodes, yes. So anyway.
But, yeah, we got taken for a ride.
Yeah, so we had all these pigs, and we thought we were doing great. And
but
they did have babies, and they produced, and they tasted good. The problem was that they were basically domesticated wild pigs. So what happened is, any chance they got, they wanted to roam. Mm-hmm. Now, here, they probably would have been really good because...
No, they would have took off with the other one.
Right.
You're not finished with your class?
Well, I kind of was. Yes, Miss Kathleen, yeah. So anyway, basically what happened is we ended up buying...
Ricky!
We ended up buying pigs from up here, and we named them Obama, Pelosi, and Clinton because it was Carol's turn, and while we were on our way up there, that's all she heard. And so when it came time to name them, that's what she wanted to name them.
Who is this? J, E, and C?
That's Josh. Josh, Emma, and Charlie, and me. Or no, Jesse, Emma, Charlie, and me, I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What's up, Josh?
And I gave him a wrench.
He should have had a wrench.
He didn't because he changed his channel name. So it was a new channel name, so I had to give him a wrench. We haven't been on since he changed his channel name.
Okay, so the Simply
right.
Is gone?
I guess.
Okay.
Anyway.
Right.
Okay, so back to, as far as the class goes, we were kind of off on a tangent talking about oils for mood. But let me circle back around just for a second as far as cold season and flu season. Eucalyptus is really good for cleaning out any kind of respiratory, which is really good for the flu because that's what we talked about is the flu is actually a respiratory infection.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's a flu.
Look it up.
It's a flu.
It's kind of funny.
It's
so anyway, eucalyptus works really good for that.
It's a virus.
It's good. Right.
It's the flu virus.
Right. So
not
anyway.
a respiratory infection. It's a flu virus. And do you know that the Elbert County Health Department or Emergency Services said even if you got a flu shot this year, you're still hosed. Why? Because only 10%. Well, not. It's only 10% effective or some
this
trash
year.
like that. Yeah.
Anyway, so eucalyptus is really good for cleaning out the airways. Lemon, we talked about a little bit. I was just getting ready to start talking about lemon. Lemon is really good because, one, it helps purify the air, so it gets all of that stuff out of the way. Who is Mr. Mudd?
I don't know, but brother, as soon as I find one, I will let you. Wah!
Look, I barely moved out of my chair.
Look, I see Mr.
Flu shot is 10% effective per the CDC. There you go. Flu shot is
seen
worthless.
Mr. Rain in here. Don't make
yes,
me,
he was in
don't make
here.
me get Heidi in here with her 40-degree black belt.
There's a lot of people that don't do the flu shot. So it says they got the right strain this year, and it's still only 10% effective. So there you go. But so basically, lemon is good for purifying the air. It's antibacterial, so it's going to help.
Did you know which one is really good for clearing the air? And I read that in one of your witchcraft books. Basil.
Yes.
It stinks to high heaven.
Yes. That's another one that'll make you smell like a pizza.
Yeah.
Or a good spaghetti sauce. But, so, the Donald didn't get one. What does that tell you?
I didn't get one either. I don't give a rat's patoot if Donald get one.
Our own nation's leader didn't get one.
Our own nation's leader?
I'm gonna punch you. I'm gonna punch you.
Do we own another nation or something?
Okay, rub on versus ingestion. Oh, yeah. So she was asking me about if you can ingest it versus putting it on your skin. So either way is effective. The thing is that with ingestion, some oils you can't ingest anyway. So topically is okay. Topically it goes in through the skin and then it goes into your bloodstream, so that works out well also. Nunda.
See what Nunda said?
Since I have quit getting the flu shot, I haven't gotten the flu.
It was mandatory for me when I was working in dialysis to take the flu shot. Every year I took it, I got the flu. I stopped working the dialysis, stopped taking the flu shot. That's been how many years?
Several.
Probably 9.
No, who was I pregnant with? Carol or Ladessa? Carol. I was pregnant with Carol.
11 years.
So 11 years, yeah.
Haven't had the flu. No flu for me. So I'm right there with you. Nunda. What?
Mr. Mud is Mud Pie Girl's husband. That's Mr. Mud. Got it. Okay. Wow, he's got a lot of nerve calling her crappy.
Well, I mean, we did meet her.
Okay, so Mary said she's been doing Breathe, On Guard, and Lemon since she got the flu. So yeah.
We did meet her in Tennessee.
She was not crabby at all. She was probably one of the like bubbliest person or people.
You and I know that, but I'm sticking with Mr. Mud.
No.
It's a bro thing.
Yeah, see? Hit him with it. What oil will be good to clean my washer with to make sure there isn't mold?
Ooh.
Lemon.
That's a good question.
Lemon, lavender. What was the other one? You said you did something with
Basil.
mold. Was basil?
Basil.
Yeah, so, any of those.
And never ever diffuse oregano.
Well, somebody was saying that who was that? Which one of y'all said that you diffused oregano in the humidifier? Somebody said they did that. I would never do that, but apparently it worked for them.
Well, we were having issues with our the old dryer because the tube vent thing was busted in the wall, and we were getting mold real bad. And it took me a while to figure it out. I ain't afraid to admit it, but I figured it out. But I read in your book about how oregano kills the mold, so I started diffusing.
Oregano?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially in Blaze's room, and got a foot cramp. And stuff. And so, but I was like, when I was cleaning everything, it was diffused, and I was kind of.
Oh yeah, I mean it'll gag a maggot. Yeah. Just give him some lava soap and tell him to shower. I put Melaleuca and lemon in my washer. That's another. I would think Melaleuca would help too. Okay, so as far as the oils for the flu, and the other one that I wanted to make sure I covered was peppermint. Peppermint is really good. It's called a febrifuge, and the reason it's called the febrifuge is because it will bring down a fever. So if you have a child and so that's the great thing about peppermint. We already talked about how it'll soothe the stomach, right? So peppermint's a good one to have on hold because not only will it help soothe your stomach, but it will also bring down a fever, and that's the really good thing, and it also will help with a headache as well. But the good thing about the peppermint with a fever is if you have a child, that you can't get them to ingest anything because they're throwing everything up. Peppermint's a good one to use to bring down fever. You know, if you're trying to give them Tylenol and stuff to bring a fever down and they just can't keep anything in their system, peppermint will work as well. So that's another another thing. Yes, tea tree does have a lot of uses, but it does stink. Not only does it stink, but I don't know how many of y'all have used it without a carrier oil. In certain areas, it can be quite sensitive areas. It can almost burn. Melaleuca is also...
Hey, it's Amy for real.
It's for real. Hey, shorty.
Whoa. Wow. Amy, I know I still have not gotten that email back to you. I need to talk to you because Robin and I were talking and I've come up with an idea and I don't know if... Well, I just need to talk to you about the class.
Okay, so... what did Kitty say that she didn't know? Rub peppermint on the belly. Yeah, so peppermint, and then also the other one was ginger. Ginger's another one that will help to soothe the stomach as well.
Ginger is a good plant to plant.
Yes, definitely.
Because if you need some ginger, you just go out there, you cut off a little bit, push the dirt back on.
Yep.
It's like horseradish.
Yes, same thing. So those are kind of the big ones.
Which
that
I want to dig up this year and move.
The horseradish? Yeah, we probably need to.
No, ain't no problem. I want to.
Yeah. So.
I want to, because it's also, I like the way how it comes out and fans out. So I want to put it in a spot where it'll be decorative too. It'll be a double threat guy.
Okay, Donna wants to know, I read multiple sources that the flu doesn't have the stomach issues.
I don't know. We've heard, at least down here, we've heard that you're exercising the Exorcist impersonations with the projectile out of both ends. So
yeah, turmeric. Yeah. Let's see. Can oils be used on babies? So no, I would not recommend using essential oils. At least definitely not topically. As far as diffusing, you have to be really careful. Definitely not peppermint. There's a couple of them. I'll link an article in the get it to her within the next 2 days. Woo.
Oh, I need to talk to you in the next 2 days.
So basically, there's a lot of oils that are not safe for young children. You got to be really careful with children because concentrations wise.
Only if you like them.
Concentration
if you don't
wise,
like those children,
it's harder for them to process. I know that peppermint's really bad because it can actually cause respiratory issues. So you have to be really careful with peppermint with young, like babies. So that's.
Oh no, she didn't send my phone works just like yours. You don't ever answer yours. I answer mine.
Anyway. Let's see.
Oh, did you show Grandma on a roll and the other guy?
I haven't seen Grandma on a roll in here.
Freaking cracked again.
And I haven't seen him either. Anyway. No, my book's not available yet. But I am starting to work pretty regularly on it. We're going to set aside some time each week for me to work on it. You don't ever call, fool.
That's not true. I call you all the time using the Facebook app.
Oh, he uses the Facebook app. That's why. All right, good night. For real. She didn't say hi to me because I called her shorty.
I wouldn't say hi to you either.
I wouldn't either. That's all right. I love you, Amy. All right, so anyway, so that's basically what I was going to talk about with as far as the flu symptoms and stuff go. The other thing that people on the Facebook page that asked about was about moods. And so we were starting to go through those. We're talking about depression with the copaiba and the frankincense and how the LLV worked really well for you. Another good one that I have noticed is something called Motivate. It's a blend by doTERRA.
I know which one's really good.
That one works really well too.
Very calm.
Oh, so Breathe is another one. And the thing with Breathe is that it's good for respiratory.
See, that is a very good question from Donna Norris. So, do the essential oils kind of work like vitamins?
I don't know how vitamins work as far as, because I'm sure that they're processed through, I would assume through your liver. So I would say no.
Well,
I mean, a little.
I would say a little bit.
A little bit.
But vitamins are replenishing different, your B12, your C, K, all of those. Where the essential oils are doing that and then some.
Yeah. So, okay, so as far as depression and stuff goes, we were saying frankincense and copaiba. I was talking about how bergamot is a really pleasant smell to me, so it tends to help me with my mood. But on the flip side, it's actually a sedative, so if anything, it would kind of be a little bit of a downer for the average person. So again, kind of works a little different for
I'll
people.
tell you what has worked tremendously for me, and I didn't believe that it was going to, and it has. And it really is a kick in the pants. Because I can't, it's like, I'm like, whatever, this stuff ain't gonna work. And it does. But that, if you are battling depression, or if you are battling just a lack of motivation, I would highly recommend the LLV. And the reason being is because I was taking the frankincense and I was doing the copaiba, and it was helping, but it just wasn't enough to get me over that hump. Because with PTSD, depression comes. And so I was having the lack of motivation to where I really didn't want to get out into the wood shop. I didn't want to get out into the deer stand. I didn't
want to do anything.
I didn't want to go have a romantic evening with Robin. I didn't really want to do anything except just kind of eat popcorn and sit on the couch. And so we tried the LLV, and I'm telling you, within 15 minutes, I got up off the couch the very first time. Now, they'll tell you every time you hear it with doTERRA that you really don't notice the difference with the LLV until after you stop taking it. Well, then I must be one of the freaks or something, because next thing I know, I was feeling like my younger self again, and I was motivated to get out. Good night,
Mr. Rain.
I was motivated to get out to do stuff on the homestead. I've been hunting, been trapping. I ain't got a job. I'm now a federal employee working for the post office. And it really, anytime now, it's anytime the kids get stupid, and kids get stupid. Sometimes they just wake up in the morning and the way that they slept, their brain oozes out of their ears and soaks into the pillow. And it's not until the next night when they put their ear back in there that it sucks back into their head.
So everybody's asking LLV. LLV, Lifelong Vitality. It's a supplemental packet of, it's a packet of 3 different supplements. We did a class on that. I think you published it, so it should be,
did we do a class on LLV?
We did a full class on LLV, because remember we had the different pictures of the different bottles?
I don't think that was, I think that was in the private business meeting. We have not done one publicly. That was a business meeting. No.
Kitty, correct me, help me. Did we do
We did not do one on LLV.
I thought we did a video on LLV.
No,
I'm pretty sure we did.
No, we haven't. And I'll put it to you this way, guys. I was pushing 250 pounds. Okay? And the least little things was making it worse.
And when you first started taking it, and we noticed that it was really making a difference, was when the truck broke down and we were stuck for 6 hours?
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't I mean, it was amazing, the difference. Like, you didn't even fuss at me. Like, we didn't, you know how when the tension is just really thick in the air,
mm-hmm.
and even when you don't do something wrong, you did something wrong and you're fussing at each other, we didn't fuss or anything. We were just hanging out, enjoying 6 hours being by ourselves without the kids.
And I was pushing 250, almost 260.
Bit closer to 260, I'm thinking.
And I've been taking LLV now for 3 months.
I think so.
And I'm at 232.
Mm-hmm.
And I've gotten more done around our homestead in the last 3 months than I've done since we've been here.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely different me. My attitude is better. My temperament is
much better.
A lot better.
Mm-hmm.
There's less holes in walls, which means less patching that I have to do, and I've gotten the holes patched that I have put in walls.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of it has to do with I just got up off the couch. Mr. Rain says, what is LLV? Lifelong Vitality.
What's in it? It's 3 different supplements. If I haven't done one on it, I will do one, but I am pretty sure I did one. Everybody's telling me I didn't.
Sharon Brown wants to know, are we still homeschooling?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, we are still homeschooling. We do a lot of stuff online now. Mm-hmm. They've gotten to the point where both Carol and Ladessa, you give them their lessons and you kind of let them roll
mm-hmm.
with it.
Yeah.
Now, if they make below in our house, our standard is 90. They make below a 90, they have to redo that lesson.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, we are still homeschooling. And like when we went to the conference, I forgot my LLV.
Yes, and he knew he forgot. Like, almost to the point where he was going to have Blaze overnight it. That's how much he noticed a difference.
Mm-hmm.
But then we got so busy that it wasn't until we were on our way back that we started to notice, like, the full effects. Because the other thing is that we had the diffuser going nonstop while we were in the hotel room. So we were able to kind of maintain, and at the booth, so we were able to maintain mood that way. So back to mood, and we've got like 8 minutes before Tommy goes on. But as far as mood goes, the depression's one thing. Anxiety's another big mood thing that we manage a lot with essential oils. We use cedarwood. We use vetiver. Vetiver is huge for anxiety. Helps out a lot.
And I can say this too, and maybe you need to correct me on this, but I don't feel like since I've been taking the LLV,
I haven't had to use it as much.
You haven't had to
no,
hit me
I haven't.
With
the only
anxiety.
one that I've used is, and this is another one that I am a huge proponent of, is there is a blend that doTERRA put out. And I use a couple of different things to help with Jason's anxiety. And the crazy thing is I never noticed that this rollerball blend has most of those oils in that blend. So it was a no-brainer when I realized that it had it in there. I was like, I've got to try this oil blend. But it's called Peace. And it has, I think it has vetiver, cedarwood, frankincense. It's
got a bunch of them in it.
Let me look real quick and I can tell you. It has.
So while she's looking for that, my morning routine now is 3 drops of frankincense, 3 drops of copaiba, and my LLV.
So it has vetiver, which we use a lot, lavender, lang lang, frankincense, clary sage, marjoram, and it has spearmint in it. And the thing is that clary calm is actually clary sage has clary calm in it. Clary calm has clary sage in it, and that's actually one of the things that helps with the anxiety and when you're feeling just kind of like you want to rip somebody's head off.
Suburban wants to know how it smells.
It smells good. It's kind of funny. We got it right before we left. I don't know if y'all remember. We went up to Tennessee not long after the conference. We went up to Tennessee for the weekend and
Speaking
saw
of,
Dana.
Have you seen her in here?
Dana?
No.
Yeah, and yeah.
Hopi?
Hope was in here. I don't know if she is anymore. But so we went up there, and while we were up there, or actually right before we left, I had placed an order, and it had been backlogged, and it finally came in right before we were leaving. So I opened up the box, and there was the peace oil, and so I grabbed it, thinking, okay, this is gonna be a stressful weekend. I'll try it. So I grabbed it, and I also got passion that weekend, which is another really good one.
That's a really good one.
But anyway, so we took the peace oil, and while we were up there, that morning was very, very stressful.
Where's Mama? I haven't seen Mama.
And I forgot she's in here, or she was in here. So it was very stressful, and the problem with vetiver, while it is extremely effective, it's very thick. It's like molasses. And so trying to get it to come out of that orifice reducer is just, it's a pain. I mean, you have to shake the bottle and get one little drop out.
So Mr. Mudd wants to know if I mix anything with my morning coffee. No, I just take the frankincense, 3 drops, the copaiba, 3 drops, and then I drink my morning coffee, and as I'm drinking the coffee, I'm popping the pills.
Mm-hmm. So,
and they're not even really pills, it's mine. Vitamins.
Yeah. So basically what happened is we had the peace bottle. And you were freaking out a little bit on me, and because there was some miscommunication. And so I put 2 and 2 together that he had not taken his supplements, and I did not have the vetiver on me. So I grabbed the peace bottle, and I'm like, well, you know what? Might as well try, see if it works, because I hadn't even broken the seal yet on it. And so I was like, come here now. And so I grabbed his ears, and I rolled it behind both ears.
You also did that to cornbread, too, didn't you?
Mm-hmm, I did. A little while later, Nunda's husband was there, too. And he has a lot of he has a lot of anxiety sometimes in situations as well. So I grabbed it and put it on him, and between the two of them, they were chill.
Well, he has a lot of anxiety when Nunda takes his spears away.
So we put it on both of them, and they were chill the whole time we were there. Then a little while later, Cherish from Hope's Homestead, she has a lot of anxiety in big crowds as well. She doesn't do people very well. And so, as a matter of fact, she was part of the reason I was diffusing, she and Jason were the reason I was diffusing the certain oils I was diffusing during the conference. And so, she would come over, visit, smell it up, and go back to what she was doing. So, anyway, so that evening when she came, she was getting a little stressful. And I said, come here. And, well, by that point, it had worked so well. Nunda actually bought the brand new bottle that I had just opened and tried on Jason and liked. She was like, I have to have that. So she took the bottle from me. Well, then a little while later, it worked so well on Hope that Nunda just gave it to Hope. So it changed. It went from our hands to Nunda's hands to Cherish's hands, all in the part of about 12 hours. But it worked really well on all of those situations. So now we have a couple of bottles of it. A month or 2 ago, doTERRA was doing a buy one get one, and Peace was one of the ones that was a buy one get one free, and so we went ahead and did the buy one get one on that. So we have a couple of those lying around waiting to be used. So that was a good call. So Peace is a really good one for anxiety. If you're a female, even if you're a male, Clary Calm. I think there are a lot of times when I put Clary Calm on me, that it's just as effective you smelling it on me. I think it helps as well. for that as well. And then Nunda ordered many more bottles. Yeah, that was it. Like, it literally passed through my hands, passed on theirs, and then went on that way. So, all right, so Kitty's giving us the heads up. Alderman is on live. We're going to go ahead and get off of here since we're still kind of just chatting. It was good to see everybody tonight and get to visit with everyone. And I guess we will...
be just watching for the notifications. We may pop on every now and then or whatever, but I honestly don't know if we're going to do Saturday night live streams anymore until YouTube figures out what YouTube is going to figure out because they have taken some of our old ones and just locked them down. Yep, almost every single one of our Saturday night live streams has been locked down. So I don't know if you guys can view them or not. Yeah. So until they figure that out, I don't even know if you're going to be able to go back and view this one.
Hopefully it'll work.
So I don't know. We're gonna see. And kiss my grits, lost dude. And so y'all get on over there to Alderman Farms.
We'll see y'all. We're going to try and continue to do these oils classes. So hopefully on on Sunday nights, we'll still continue to do it. There she is.
Grandma on a roll. Here they are. But I'm thinking this is yours.
He's got to oil it still.
I still got to oil it, but I think I got to go back and do yours again. The problem that I've been having is you can see where the lightning hit.
The lightning hit the tree right there.
Where the lightning hit the tree, and I've been getting into it where it's been somewhat cracking.
It's cracking.
Those when I cut them. That's what's taking me so long. I've had a couple of these just as I was cutting them just go to pieces in my hands. So I don't know. I'm gonna take a look at this and I'm going to make a decision. I mean, if you want it with the lightning marks in it, then I'll go ahead and wood burn my initials into it for you. Just let me know, or I'll remake them. But right here it is. Here's the stack with them. And
that's so pretty, and that hasn't even been stained yet. That's so pretty.
So,
all right.
I just kind of shoot us an email or
she's got an email. She's got an email.
Yeah, just shoot us an email and let me know if you want it with the lightning crack in it, or if not, then I'll remake it again.
Well, I mean, you have to do the writing for it, so maybe if you put that in there, that might be.
It's completely okay.
All right. I love the lightning marks. There you go.
Okay. Then I will stain it and oil it.
Okay, now John is asking why I haven't ordered Passion. We'll talk later. All right, y'all. It's been real. It's been fun.
Remember, and this is very important, be kind to one another, because you never know what that person's going through. You don't know what they're doing.
That's right.
And do your part to help make this world a better place, and do your part. Recycle, reuse, repurpose, keep stuff out of the landfill to give our wildlife a chance. Thank you guys for coming by in Mama's Oils class, and we will see you guys again soon. Be watching for some videos. Bye.
Night.